What's good, everyone? Jets Takeoff. Today, I'm here to talk about the Texans and Jets game this Sunday. First of all, happy Thanksgiving, but there are a few things that I specifically want to talk about in this game, things to look for, noteworthy players, and how I think the Jets could win this game. First and foremost, Zach Wilson's back. Our hopeful franchise quarterback making his first start since the Patriots game, been out for 4 weeks, and there are definitely more than a few things to look for from Zach Wilson in this game. Number one, how is he changing his game? Because while he is gone, he saw 3 other quarterbacks operate the Jets offense, and all of them did it at a high level at one game or another. First of all, Mike White against the Bengals, he was dinking and dunking. Second of all, Josh Johnson, who came in for the injured Mike White and had a 300-plus yard game against the Indianapolis Colts on primetime. And then Joe Flacco this past Sunday against the Miami Dolphins. So these are all quarterbacks who operated the offense a lot differently than Zach Wilson, and all of them saw success at one point. So hopefully he watched the game film and talked to the quarterbacks to kind of get inside their head and understand how they were able to have success. Because while Zach Wilson had a few good games, he also struggled a lot at times. And a main reason why is because he was kind of looking to push the ball a little bit downfield, maybe too much. Just take what's open. If a guy's open, throw it to him. I understand, and every quarterback wants to have the big play, no doubt about it, especially a guy like Zach Wilson, who had a lot of those plays in college. But you have to be able to take what the defense gives you and not get too greedy. So that's the first thing I want to see is, has he learned some knowledge from these quarterbacks? Second of all, his mechanics. His mechanics were kind of a little bit sloppy in the last few weeks that he was playing. His footwork not really getting aligned, not using his full body. It's got to get fixed because good quarterback play always starts with good fundamentals, and we need to see him go back to the fundamentals of football. And we also hired his quarterback coach, John Beck, to our own coaching staff. So hopefully Zach Wilson on his own was refining his mechanics, practicing, and also under the tutelage of John Beck, hopefully they have worked together to kind of get him back to the way he was playing last year at BYU, because he was pretty good with his mechanics at BYU. So hopefully it's more routine and natural to him come game time. That's another thing I want to see. It'll help a lot with his accuracy, which is honestly my main knack with Zach Wilson this whole season, is the inconsistencies with his accuracy. So those are the two main things, in my opinion, I want to see from Zach Wilson. And obviously the third thing, I want to see him have a great game. 300-plus yards, I think it's doable versus this Houston Texans defense. Now, is it a big ask? Yeah, it really is, because he hasn't played in 4 weeks. So I expect the first few drives to be a little bit rough, him be a little bit indecisive, but hopefully once the third and fourth drive come around, he gets a little bit more back into the groove and he starts playing like it's normal. So that's it for Zach Wilson. I also don't want to see a turnover. I would prefer not to. So besides that, this Houston Texans defense, they're not the best unit at all. They are one of the worst in the league, specifically against the pass and the run. Now I want to see our running game get back to the roots, because we had some success early on in the season, but it's kind of struggled a little bit. It was just more Michael Carter doing his thing, but with him being out for the next few weeks, Ty Johnson's going to have to step up. I want to see maybe LaMichael Piron. I think he might be active for the first time in a while. And then obviously Tevin Coleman. I want to see Ty Johnson as the lead back, but I want to see some Piron action. He's only had 1 rush this entire season, but what I want to see is our offensive line win at the line of scrimmage, because they lost against the Dolphins. They did not have a good game in my opinion, although they were under constant pressure and duress. It wasn't really good. So this game has a lot of potential to be a great rebound game for this offense, and especially this offensive line. Louvernay Tardif, whatever his name is, I'm going to butcher it, so I'm not going to say the whole thing. He had a good game, and he's starting again. So no more Greg Van Roten. Hopefully he can continue some success, and he can kind of get in the groove with the rest of the offensive line and create some chemistry with them, since it's only his second game. But I want to see us run outside the tackles. Guys like George Fant and obviously Morgan Moses, who's a little bit of a better run blocker than George Fant. We have to win. We have to run the football a lot, because this is Zach Wilson's first game coming back. I want to see us run the football more than we throw it. I think we have to put him in a position to succeed, and if we're asking Zach Wilson to throw for 40 times in his first game back in 4 weeks, it might not go so well. So Mike LaFleur has to establish the run in this football game. It doesn't have to necessarily be early on, but at some point we have to be more run first. Now, this Texans defense, like I said, they're a little bit iffy. Now, one of the main guys is Jonathan Greenland. He has 7 sacks on the season. He missed last week's game that the Texans played against the Titans, but he is limited, so he might play, he might not play, but he has 7 sacks. It'll be interesting to see him going up against George Fant, probably on the left side of the offensive line. And the safety play in Houston, obviously they have Justin Reed, but I feel like there's an option to take a deep shot down the field at some point. The Texans know that Zach Wilson's probably going to try and take some of the easier throws because, I mean, the Texans personnel and coaches, they watch and study the Jets. And they've probably heard that Saleh wants Zach Wilson to play a little bit more boring football. So I think they're going to be sitting on it a little bit. And what does that do? It can open up a big opportunity for a deep shot down the field, maybe to say Elijah Moore or Corey Davis. But Corey Davis, he's also hurt. He appeared on the injury report. So if he might potentially be out against the Houston Texans. And if that's the case, it could open up the door for Denzel Mims, which would please a lot of us Jets fans. But I think this is a very winnable game against the Houston Texans. Now, from an offensive perspective, but from a defensive perspective, it might be tough. And the reason why it might be tough is because Tyrod Taylor is the starting quarterback for the Texans. He's kind of slept on, man. He's really not a bad quarterback at all. He led them to a win against the Titans, a big win, and he looked good against the first game when they played the Jaguars. He's a dual-threat quarterback. Now, our defense has struggled in general. We have the worst-ranked defense in the NFL. And Isaiah Dunn is stepping in for Brandon Echols. He didn't have a good game last season. So what the defensive line is going to need to do is get pressure on Tyrod Taylor. Now, the problem that comes with that is that he can escape the pressure. So we have to be able to contain him and make sure he doesn't just run straight up through the hole and get a big yard because he's another weapon. You think of Brandon Cooks, who can obviously take the top off the defense. He's another problem of concern. I really think Brandon Cooks will probably get a deep touchdown on us just because our safeties are banged up. So it's Ashton Davis and the other guy, number 33. So I don't know. It's going to be a tough assignment for these safeties against this Texans team, obviously with Tyrod Taylor as a threat, and then Brandon Cooks. We know he's good. He's the best receiver on the Texans by far. I want to see this defense play with some juice because we are going to give up a few touchdowns to Tyrod Taylor. It's inevitable. We don't have a top defense in the league, none the slightest. But I want to see us be able to hold our ground when it comes crunch time in the fourth quarter. I'm assuming it should be a tight game. I want to see them really step it up then, kind of just like they did against the Bengals in Week 8. So that's basically all of my thoughts for this game against the Texans. The main focus for me, though, and all Jets fans should be Zach Wilson. We're not a good football team, but the thing that matters most this season is Zach Wilson's growth and development, and I'm really interested to see how he plays, given that he's watched 3 quarterbacks operate the offense at a high level. So hopefully he took some notes with the pen and paper and can put it into action, because we need him to develop and grow. You know, with Sam Darnold back in 2018 when he missed a stretch of games, he was learning from Josh McCown, and when he came back, he looked a lot better and a lot different. He was playing more safe football, and he gave us promise. And the reason why he promised us was because of that second half of 2018. He really learned, and he put it into action, and that's what I want to see from Zach Wilson, except hopefully he can have a better long-term future than Sam Darnold did with us. So let me know what you think. Appreciate it. Happy Thanksgiving once again, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.